All right. So I got to witness Weapons. That movie is disturbing. It is disturbing to say the least. I enjoyed it. I'll say right off the bat, I enjoyed the film. It had a bit. It's a bit of a slow burn. It was a part where I felt towards the beginning. I think like probably like around the first or second act, I started feeling like I wasn't gonna like it that much because like they do something I like, which is they tell the story from different perspectives, which I like, but they don't give enough information when they start doing that. So at around the first or second time when they were switching the stories, I was feeling like, where is this going? And I was feeling like it was a little slow, and I just felt like things were for no reason. But then some things I still feel like didn't even need to be there. They cut a good amount of it out, but it rewards you towards the end. Around like this, towards the end of the second act, something happens, something is revealed. Once that's revealed, I was locked in the whole film. They had me. I was like, okay, I'm in. I want to see what's going on with this person. I want to see why they like this. I want to see why they know so much, or why they're so mysterious. And it was disturbing, man. I really enjoyed this film. I'm contemplating seeing it again. Um, I don't really want to, but I kind of want to because I saw it with a not too big of a crowd. Like I don't know if it was a theater. I think it was the Showtime that I picked. It was like I feel like it was only like 12 people in there, and the Showtime I picked. I think that's why I had a lot of goosebumps and why I was really on edge, because I felt like so alone in the theater. No one sitting next to me in my row, and I was like feeling the movie more. I mean, it made for a great experience, but I kind of would like to see with the crowd and feel the energy with the big crowd and be sitting like a little bit in between people, or like maybe like two seats down from someone. But I felt like I rented it out and I was by myself, and it affected me. It affected me. It affected me so much that when the movie was over, I stayed for the whole credits. And I normally don't do that. Like, and I stayed because I couldn't like even get up. Like I was kind of like, and it's crazy. Like I was kind of like, if you see the movie, this will be kind of a play on words. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to spoil anything. I'll make a spoiler review, but what I will say is, I was kind of hypnotized by the movie, which is interesting. And like when it was over, I just sat down and I was just thinking like, that was insane. And partly because they do something that I don't like sometimes in movies, but I forgive them for it. But some movies, they end abruptly and like they don't go back and say, oh, this is what happened with the town, or the town, they don't show like the aftermath of people finding stuff out. And I like to see those things, but sometimes they don't do that in certain movies. That's all I'll say about that. But I enjoy it. I recommend it. Honestly, I would give this a 4 out of 5. I would give it a 4 out of 5. Like I said, it did have that slow part, but it was great. And I wouldn't do a spoiler review. But like I said, like when it was over, I was just thinking like, this is insane. Like it's insane. And I think because certain movies you watching, like that could never happen, or you at least in your brain you think that would never happen. And then there's some movies that are scary movies that you watch, and it's even scarier when you feel like, I wonder if that actually could happen. And that makes it even scarier, dude. Some people might be watching this if you've seen a movie and be like, what are you talking about? That could never happen. But it still has an eeriness to it. It has it's set in a type of, the movie feels so real, is what I'll say. The movie is so serious. Like the movie takes itself extremely serious until like towards the end, where it kind of feels like they have a character running, and I feel like I was like, why are they reacting that way? But then when something happens to them, I understand, okay, maybe it was because they knew the knowledge of what is really going to happen to them, and it made them really react in an outrageous way. So that's what I'm thinking. Let's kind of forget that reaction a bit. But it's just one of those movies where, I don't know, man. I think just go see it. I stopped watching some of the trailers because I didn't want them to give away too much, but I think the trailers did a pretty good job. There was a lot of surprises. And I didn't know that this was the same person who made Barbarian, which I loved. I loved Barbarian. I like that movie takes you on a journey. And this too takes you on a journey. The guy's name is Zach Kreger, I believe, who did Barbarian and this. So I recommend checking it out, man. Because people say they want original films. Like, he's doing it. He's making films where you watch them and you're like, I'm not expecting this. I mean, some people go into movies and they know everything that's going to happen because they've seen so many movies. I was watching this movie and I didn't know what was going to I didn't know. The story kept going and I was like, it wasn't even that it just kept going. The way they tied together was really, really good. It was really, and the reason they give you pieces of different stories is because towards the end, it becomes integral to the actual plot and how things are actually going to pay off. So, or not pay off. You know, sometimes it's not happy endings, you know, sometimes they are, but it's a horror movie. What can you expect? But I had fun. Like I said, I would give this a 4 out of 5. I recommend you definitely go check it out and see it opening weekend if you can. See it with a crowd. Don't see it alone how I did at a random showtime. I mean, I saw it early, but I still saw it alone. So see it with a crowd if you can. But oh man, like I'm gonna definitely do a spoiler review. I normally don't do a spoiler review so soon, but I'm gonna do a spoiler review. I think I will see at least one more time. I think I will. Because like I said, I want to see it with a bigger crowd. And when my showtime was a smaller crowd and it felt like I was in there alone. And I think, like I said, I think that's why the film really affected me. And I felt like I had goosebumps over my whole body towards the third act. And it was like, it was just disturbing. But like I said, if you want to be disturbed or you want to watch a horror movie and you just want to, like, what can I equate the feeling of? If any of you guys have seen Long Legs, the feeling and the dread of Long Legs, I went to see that movie twice. And while it's on my brain now, I actually might have seen it 3 times. And might sound crazy to some people. But the performances in that movie and the story was so good. And then that feeling, and then, oh God, I know the feeling of dread is not something you want to feel all the time, but that movie was just like knocked me off my heels. And I really love Long Legs. And I mean, I would watch it now, but I want to watch it alone. Honestly, it's not a feel. I don't want to do that. Just thinking about it weirds me out. But the thing is, the feeling. This movie makes you feel like I feel like I need to take a shower. Like it's like an ominous, dark, creepy, eerie feeling towards the end. And this is not a spoiler. What I'm about to say. That's not a spoiler. All I'm gonna say is that I'm trying to think, is this a spoiler? Is this a spoiler? All right, this is what I'm saying. I don't think this is not a spoiler. All I'm saying is I do not like clowns. I'm not saying there's clowns in this film. It's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is some people, they may wear like, you know, certain things. Like I'll say like when I was in high school and girls was learning how to put on makeup, sometimes I'll feel like they look like clowns because they're still learning, you know. Nowadays, most of the girls, they know how to put the makeup on really good. So that's what I'm saying. Like someone could look so disturbed, it could make you think about that. So I don't know if the movie intended that purpose, people to look like that, or someone in general looking like that. And if you see the movie, you understand what I'm saying. But just the thought of seeing someone and imagining that they might be a clown, but they're not a clown. Maybe they just look like they have certain things on their face. The way their makeup is done kind of makes them almost look like something's off. I think that's what they meant to do, because they know people just don't like those things, and I don't like clowns. But yeah, and then shoot. Oh, man, I think that, like I said, go out to see it. I want to see it in theaters. Like, I think the way it is revealed towards the end, what's really going on, is well done, and like I said, it makes you kind of question. Well, it makes me question, like, it doesn't really make me question everything that happened, but the realism. Every time you go to a movie, the movie has some movies have an axe, or most movies have an axe, so they ask you to believe something. Or you watch a movie, like people watch Fast and Furious, and the big axe in Fast and Furious is like, do you think these people can do these things? Or not even that you believe it. It's just like, oh, I don't care. It goes with the movie. But this, towards the end, it's like they're asking us, okay, do you believe that this could actually happen? If the answer is no, then maybe the ending might not work for you. Or if the answer is a little bit in the middle, like yes or no, and you're in the middle, like, I don't think that could happen, but there might be some folklore about certain things happening. So maybe that, if you think like that, then it might be a little scarier. I enjoyed this movie. I think, like I said, the guy who made Barbarian and this, he's great. He's great at telling stories, and these are stories that you don't expect. And they're stories that they don't just give you what I think, because they don't give you a Hollywood ending. Like horror movies, what do you think? Horror movies don't really give you Hollywood endings anyway, but I feel like his films in particular, Zach Cregger, the guy who did Barbarian and this, the way these films end is, I'm not saying morbid, but I don't know. I just, like, I'm gonna do a spoiler review because I want to say so much and I can't. So I recommend seeing it. See it for yourself. If you can't see it opening weekend, see it soon, because I think this film is best seen with a crowd. Like I said, my showtime was, I went to a different showtime. That's why I might see it again. My showtime was not so many people, and I think that's why I was really affected by it. I felt really creepy. I felt really goosebumps all over my body, but it was an experience, and jeez Louise, man, it was an experience. So that's all I'll say about that. And it's Deja, know the name, signing off. Spread love and light in this horror darkness. And we're going to sign off.